dead, where evil lurks in every shadow and monsters roam the streets, mankind's only survival rests in the hands of two Welsh warriors. Armed with boomsticks, chainsaws, bad language, these beacons of hope will stop at nothing to obliterate deadites, vampires, psychotic nurses. So, hold tight, strap in, and let the professionals take charge. Otherwise, you're in for a rough, blood-soaked night.
Hey, all right?
Hey, what's happening?
How's it going?
You right?
Yeah, good. How was your weekend?
Yeah, didn't do much. I'm nursing a ear infection, so I'm a little bit miserable at the moment. It's not too painful, but do you know when you've just got this ache and you can't be asked to do anything? So I don't know. I've easily cleared 15 movies this weekend.
15 movies.
Maybe close to that. I'm doing.
Like what? A few.
Oh God! Well, I've literally just finished watching Dog Soldiers.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it much more than I remember. I liked it when I was young. I tried to rewatch it a few years ago, DVD copy, and it just looked shit. But it's just been released on 4K, and I gotta say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I went through a period where I didn't like it, but it's a great film. It's very well made.
Stuck it on the other day because it's popped up on Amazon. Amazon Prime. I switched it off. I couldn't watch it. I've never really liked it, but I
know you've never liked it, have you?
I kind of give the guy a pass because his next film was The Descent.
The Descent, yeah.
So clearly he'd learned a thing or two. So you got to give people a pass. But you know that opening scene in the tent? It's devoid of tension. It's just the zip goes. It's like, oh, that's it. She's gone.
I'll tell you what I did watch though, Jenks. You're going to be happy about. I finally watched Smile 2.
Oh, finally. It's great, isn't it?
It's so good. All that shit I give you, and I only give you shit, right? I knew I'd enjoy it. The only reason I give you shit is because all these great independent movies that came out in 2024, you shit on them, but then your favourite movie was Smile 2, and I thought, that sums you up to a T. Like, you're obsessed with the biggest movie of the year, the most Hollywood horror movie.
Yeah.
And you're shitting on the little guys. But I gotta say, it's fantastic.
What little guy was I shitting on?
Oh, don't make me
number
them.
No, there's not one. I liked all the small stuff.
No. There was a few out there that you shit on.
I don't know about that, but...
Terrifier 3. In a Violent Nature.
I didn't shit on A Violent Nature. I just...
VHS. Oh, there's 3 there, Jenks. There's 3 films there.
And hang on, I didn't shit on A Violent Nature. I give it a lot of respect for the practical effects. It was incredible, and I said I'd rewatch it. Now, I ain't going to rewatch Terrifier 3.
Mainly, what I'm trying to say is, Jenks, is that it was so much more... Right. It was so much more than just another run-of-the-mill Hollywood movie, like the first one was.
Yeah.
This was proper elevated horror, and one of the best female protagonists I've ever seen in any horror movie.
I know. I thought, her acting. It's such a shame because she'll never get an Oscar for that performance, and I guarantee you, whoever's up for Best Actress this year wouldn't hold a candle to that performance.
No,
she was incredible.
And what I loved about her the most, right, is it seemed to be at least 80% practical. Now, there's obviously some CG dotted in here and there, stuff that you just can't do practical. The majority of it seemed CG, and obviously for me, that's a massive selling point.
Yeah, I'd say the only flaw, without giving any spoilers away, because a lot of it you don't know what's real. She's not a reliable narrative narrator because it's messing up with reality, it's messing up with the mind. So you're trying to retrace of like, well, which was real? Did she go to there? Or was that in her mind? It's quite hard to follow.
That was my problem at the end. How much of it was real and where did she actually go? Like,
yeah, because it's almost like, I'm not saying it was all a dream and nothing happened. You assume that a lot of it happened, but you don't know which bits happened to get her from point A to point B. and things
Yes,
like that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Especially
That's
in
exactly
the
what I thought.
car scene and the fridge scene. I won't say any more on that because it's still quite a new film, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Oh yeah, of course.
But
Of
yeah,
course.
it's very violent, much more violent than you would imagine. Especially the
Yeah.
weight on the face, poof,
Is
smashes.
the noise of that weight hitting his face.
Yeah, it had no that film had no business being that good, did it?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Definitely not. Solid 4 stars for me.
yeah. I'm glad you watched
I
it.
don't hand out 5 stars very easily.
Unless it's shit. I hate this film with shit. 5 stars. I did post on Facebook, but I was bored last night and I couldn't be asked to watch anything that I hadn't seen. I just wanted to put something crap on. And somebody mentioned the other day, a client of mine said that, oh, you ever seen a film called Phantoms? Dean Koontz.
Yeah.
One. And I was like, do you know, I used to work in Blockbuster, the next Tarantino, and yeah, so I remember Phantoms was there. I was working there 2000, so Phantoms was it came out in 98, so it's 2 years old. Oh, no, actually, it was probably brand new in Blockbuster because it used to take about 2 years to come
Yeah.
VHS. Anyway, I don't remember liking it, or I remember falling asleep and it just got forgotten. I thought, I'm going to stick this on. Maybe it's aged well. I couldn't finish it. I switched off the last half an hour. It was so bad. Like, have you seen it?
Do you know what? I don't hate it.
You've got it on Steelbook, on Laserdisc, on Betamax, on HD DVD before
HD
Blu-ray.
DVD, yeah. No,
There's a poster
I
of
don't,
that.
I don't like it enough to own it. I don't own it, even though I own a lot of shit.
What about
But
Tattoo?
I watched it for the first time, maybe like 4 years ago. And apart from like sketchy CGI, early 2000s, late 90s CGI, I didn't hate it, to be honest. I think the source material is great. I think the acting's quite decent. It's got a good cast. But
Great cast.
yeah, it's quite a forgettable movie, but it's not a movie that I would watch and then like rant about how much I hated it. I think it's got some charm.
Look, the mystery of the first half an hour is great. I love what's happened, where is everybody? There's all these deaths, but the mystery just keeps going and going, and you're in an hour and 20 minutes, and they're still in mystery mode. I'm like, oh, what's this? Like, no, you get half an hour to do that, and you've got to move on now and give us something. I know it's awful. I'm going to give it 1 star. Fuck it. Yeah, I don't give them out willy nilly.
Piss off.
Yeah, I do you know what? We gave a couple of 1 stars last year, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do right before we gonna read a few comments. Sorry, Kurt. We forgot to mention we meant to have Maxwell King on today, a guest host. He's running late. But he promised he'd be here in about 5 minutes, providing everything works okay and the thing. But what are you going to say? Sorry, Kurt.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll read a few comments. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Where are we? Hey guys, this is from Tyler Adams. Hi, Tyler. Thanks for jumping.
What's happening, Tyler?
Awesome. John Moran, the man. Evening, chaps. Jordan and chapettes.
Yes. Chaps and chapettes.
Yeah, diversity. Do you know what? What I did watch last night, I forgot to say, White Noise.
Great film, Michael Keaton.
I have seen it before.
Yeah.
I stuck it on. I quite enjoyed it.
It's good.
Abigail. Evening, guys.
Evening, Abigail.
Hi, Abigail. Let's see, I can move through some of these. We've got Ben. Oi. Legend.
What's happening, Ben?
We've got the TSL podcast, the Slaughtered Lamb. Take care of that piss madness. What? Take care of that piss madness, Curtis.
I'm lost.
Is that an in-joke? If you did a comment, take care of that.
I don't know if I have. I've completely forgotten.
Anyway, The Slaughtered Lamb is an awesome podcast. You got to jump on there. If you haven't given them a sub, you need to jump on. They're awesome. Yes. And we got Ryan. Sup? Hi, Ryan.
What's happening, Ryan?
Awesome. Yeah, so what we're going to do while we wait for Maxwell, we're just going to talk some shit. And like we always do.
Fuck's sake.
But we will have a Q&A today. I've got some questions for Maxwell, some horror questions, and we'll leave it open to everybody else. All right, here we go. That makes sense. Your urinal infection. He's always got something. Yeah, stress from moving house probably, Kurt, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It may be. I think that would be less painful than my ear, to be honest.
I used to get a lot of earache when I was young, and it's horrible. It's because it's something just hits you all of a sudden, like electric shock sometimes. Yeah. We got Dawn Keat, a friend,
What's happening, Dawn?
Hi, Dawn. Hope you're having a lovely weekend. Dawn's here. Awesome. And we've got Movie Squirm, a friend of the channel. We've jumped on his channel. He's been on ours. Hi, lads. Went to see Seven in the cinema last night. Such an amazing movie. You two are fans?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm jealous, first of all. I was going to go see it, but I'm getting too old, right? And the only showings were past 8. And last year, I went to see Christine for its 40th anniversary, 30th anniversary, whatever. So I went to see Christine, John Carpenter's Christine in cinema. And that was at 9 o'clock. 30 minutes into it, I was out cold.
Yeah,
and every time I've been to cinema past 9, same thing happens. I need to be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's the thing, see, because where we're from, there's a cinema in Bridgend, and you've got reclining seats.
Seats, yeah.
And I'm afraid to do it because I'm 45 now, and I'm like my father was. I slept, I shit you not, in a U2 gig before. Not while they were singing, between the support band and U2. And I was on the plastic seats in the stadium, and my wife was like, how the fuck is he falling asleep in that position?
Oh my God, I've fallen asleep standing up in a club, don't worry about it. But
while dancing.
Yeah, while dancing. But to answer your question, Jord, Seven is one of the greatest thrillers of all time.
Yeah, it is.
It's a masterpiece. I will say, though, I do think I Saw the Devil is a better thriller. Because I see a lot of comparisons between the two films. Maybe there's some sort of inspiration there. But for me, I Saw the Devil, I would take that up in cinema any day over Seven. But it's a great film. I'd love to have gone to see it.
It's a funny old thing. I would definitely jump on it if it's in my cinema. But I got so much respect for it, but I've never owned it, and I've never, like I said, I've got nothing against it, but somehow it's just not in my.
Well, it's a long, grueling movie, and it's really grim. Like I think every single shot there's rain in it. It's just raining. It's grimy. It's horrible. But yeah, Kevin Spacey's a fantastic villain. That finale is so heart-wrenching. Jesus Christ.
Do you know, the zombie moment is brilliant, isn't it? When that guy wakes up. I know it's not a zombie moment, but it's basically a zombie moment, isn't it? And it's one of the best. I think Max is here, but it doesn't look like his camera is working, so I'll give him a second to sort his end.
All right, yeah.
Just to not put pressure on him. Just this quick thing. Movie sperm. Movie sperm. That's a better name.
Injecting movies into your veins.
Sorry, pal. Movie squirm. Sorry, pal. I wasn't taking the piss. Please jump on his channel. It's an awesome horror channel. And yeah, drop him a sub because he's the man and he's a sound guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Friend of the show.
Top man for jumping on, Jord. We appreciate it, pal.
That. And you can also follow him on Movie Sperm. It's his third it's his sister site.
Impregnating your minds with horror movies.
Been thinking about it all day, Jordan. Love it. Sorry, I missed something. I was just thinking of sperm. If the shop had been open today before the cinema, I was gonna get the 4K. Oh, fair play.
I'm currently in the midst of a move, so money's very limited. So I missed out on that one. Hopefully they're still around when... But I have just seen, and I've pre-ordered, Second Sight, right, are probably the best distributors in the world right now. They've just announced The Brood and Scanners on 4K box edition. I'm sure a few of you in the chat would have pre-ordered these as well. They just keep knocking out banger after banger. But I've pre-ordered those ones. You've got Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 are all getting Steelbook 4Ks, pre-ordered those. And Arrow Video have done Inglourious Basterds on 4K, so it's a great time to be a Tarantino fan.
Can I ask a favour, Curtis? I think he's having issues with his camera, so... Oh, hang on. So can you read the comments while I deal with this, if that's all right?
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for the pressure. Oh, and I'm on my own as well, as if. I'm all shy now. Who is your ultimate scream queen? Do you know what? I would have normally said Laurie Strode. Massive fan of the Halloween franchise, but I don't like her that much in the new trilogy. No, I love the new trilogy. I love Halloween Ends. I think to many people's dismay, but I find her quite irritating in the new trilogy. There's so many great ones. I'd probably have to go with Sidney Prescott. I mean, she's been going from the start. She's missed one movie, and she's not annoying. Right. What is your favourite horror movie moment of all time? Jesus Christ, guys, you're coming in with the hard questions here. Favourite horror movie moment of all time? It's a tough one. It's gotta be, right? It's gotta be the blood testing in The Thing. When McGreedy is testing everyone's blood and he's got the pin. And when they actually start to turn on the bench and the bench starts going up, that's probably my favourite movie moment of all time. That one has been replicated in pop culture multiple times. John's still buzzing for 7. We've got Gina in the chat. Hey Gina, thanks for jumping on. Don't forget to send the like button some love, people. Thank you, Gina. Appreciate it. Look at that. At least 3 people have dropped off since I've been on my own. Movie sperm, I'm going to be known as that forever now. There's no going back, pal. You're just going to have to change it. I just joined the chat as movie sperm. What have I done? What have we got? OnlyFans version. Jill, John, hi both, everyone. Hope you've all had a lovely weekend. Hiya, Jill. Thanks for jumping on. Donkey, is there a White Noise 2? I can't remember. Yes, there is a sequel. I have never seen it. I think it was one of those straight-to-video sequels. I don't know for certain, but I know it wasn't exactly a big release. My Chuggy Jolly, the Brood is weird film, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's definitely one of Cronenberg's most bizarre ones. But outside of The Fly, it's probably my favourite David Cronenberg movie. Those twins are absolutely horrific. Curtis is all shiny. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not used to being on my own. I'm flipping struggling. What do you think about the rumour that Robert Eggers is set to direct a follow-up to Labyrinth with the Henson Workshop? If it's true, I'd be excited, because I think, even though the first one is a timeless classic, I am a massive fan of that one. I think, oh my God, thank God for that. I think, like I've said, I think I've said before on the podcast, it's rife for a big universe. I think there's so much they can do with it. Everyone complaining about, obviously, David Bowie not being able to play the Goblin King. They don't have to have the Goblin King in there. They can be in another part of the Labyrinth. I think it's an untapped world that they can delve into. I think they're going to go dark with it, because initially I think it was Fede Alvarez, and now they've hired Robert Eggers. So I think they're going for something here. So I'm hoping we get a nice dark remake or spin-off, whatever they want to do. I'm excited for it.
I got a good question for you. Who should be the Goblin King? Somebody like David Bowie-esque, but of no.
Oh, no one's got the same aura as David Bowie, to be honest. People compare Harry Styles to Bowie. He's not a very good actor. In terms of like the aura Bowie brings to things.
Harry Styles? Who says that?
Well, loads of people do. Loads of people say he's like the next Bowie, the next Freddie Mercury, like the next big, huge pop star, you know?
Well, he's a big pop star, but having like that song Sign of the Times, they were comparing it to Bowie. The song is similar to Bowie, but he's not similar to Bowie.
Yeah, no, I don't particularly agree. Like, I'm not into him, but Harry Styles. I would want them. I would want them to do Labyrinth without the Goblin King.
You got to have a Goblin King, and you've got to have Muppets as well.
Yeah, again, I don't mind if they get rid of the Muppets.
I think they'd probably they'd probably end up doing lots of like CGI creatures.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I think Maxwell is here, but he can't get his camera to work, and I think Restream is the format we're using. He said is not letting him use. It's denying his camera, which is really frustrating. It's very annoying. I don't know what to do. I want to get him on, but I also want to see his face. You know, I think it works if I clicked it, but I wonder if we can do anything our end.
I don't know what we could do, to be honest, Jenks. It was the same with Splattercast. He had to sort it out his end.
Yeah. Let me just do it.
My Chunky Geordie says, Laurie Strode pisses me off. Well, Jamie Lee does. She turned Laurie into something she's not in my eyes. I agree with you. And the whole press she did for the new trilogy, the whole trauma. She kind of pissed me off in the new trilogy, and she's kind of gone down as one of my favourite final girls. Wolfman says, it's funny you should say that scene from The Thing being your favourite scene. As you were thinking, I was thinking of the scene from The Faculty when they were testing the scat and the homage to The Thing. Yeah, of course, that's one that came to mind as well, obviously. A definite homage to The Thing.
Oh, 100%.
It's such a great scene.
Do you know...
South Park did it as well.
You know the bit with the alien, the blonde girl, spoiler alert... Do you know when the flashback and shows that she used her like alien finger to sort of?
No, it was her nose closing up.
No, and she tapped it, and the powder fell out. Yeah.
And her nose closes up.
But isn't it like every time you rewatch it, you try to look to see if you can see it,
of course.
You know, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay, so I don't know what to do with this now. I'll just see what happens. I'm not gonna.
Hey, we've got Eli Cortez in the chat. What's up, Curtis, my guy? Yes, I think that was from when I was on my own. Unfortunately, where's the old man, Curtis? He ditched me, pal. That's what.
See what happens. Everybody makes fun of me, and when I'm left, it falls apart.
Movie Skirm says, are you looking forward to Wolfman? Winnell has some talent. I have full confidence in him. Yes, this was my most anticipated movie of the year. I'm a huge Lee Winnell fan. Between his writing and directing, I don't think he's done anything bad. Probably the weakest thing is Insidious 3. It's an okay sequel. I'm not a massive fan of that one. But yes, Lee Winnell's great, and I love that they're doing something new. I've seen a lot of shit talk about how the werewolf looks and the transformation. I seen a comment, someone saying, well, there's only 3 people in the film. It's not going to be violent. Why does it need to be violent? It doesn't have to be violent. Like, if you look at The Fly, and I'm going to compare it to The Fly because apparently it's going to follow those similar beats of like body transformation, body horror. It doesn't need ultra violence. It's got a really good story. And when you do get that violence, it's more impactful. And I've heard this is going to be the same. It's 3 people in a cabin in the woods, and he's slowly transforming into this monster. And I'm sure they haven't shown us his final form. But I hope he doesn't look like a run-of-the-mill werewolf. We've seen them a million times over the years. We can have something different, and I trust Lee Winnell to do something great.
I totally agree with you. None of that pitch with the 3 people in the woods, that's not putting me off. That's making me more excited. I love the
exactly.
Concept.
How many times have they done the run-of-the-mill werewolf movie? Someone turns into a werewolf, goes on a killing spree, they hunt him down, kill him. Like, this is something different. And like what Lee Whannell did with The Invisible Man, he's bringing this into a new generation and remodernising everything. So yeah, I'm all for it. I think it looks amazing.
I think it looks awesome. I don't even really care how the wolf looks unless it's really bad, because I just love the idea of stuck in a cabin. I absolutely love
and
less actors.
Yeah, Christopher Abbott's someone I've really got my eye on as well. He's fantastic. He did this film a couple of years ago called Sanctuary. Oh my God, you need to watch that. And it's got Margaret Qualley in it as well.
And he's in the Possessor. Have you seen that? Oh, I think you recommended it to me.
Yes, yeah, I did,
One of the most grotesquely violent films I've ever seen.
Sean Bean. Oh my God, what a horrific scene when he gets his jaw smashed up.
And it's the thing in
the poker
in the eye, and oh my God, and it's the uncut version. But it only seems to be the uncut version is available. There's no
and you know, if you watch that, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. David Cronenberg could have directed that movie.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You'll have to vamp again. I'm sending him another.
Yeah, no worries. Gina says, I enjoyed White Noise 2. It's different from the first. I think Matthew Modine, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know who's in there. I've never seen it. Eli Cortez, he's probably watching Street Trash 2 right now. Do you know Jenks, Eli? Tennessee Lee Peace, there we are. That answers that. Wolfman says, tickets booked for Wolfman on Friday. I'm partial to a Wolfman movie. Absolutely. Unfortunately, I can't go see it next weekend because I've got my daughter, but I will be seeing it the week after. Are you looking forward to Wolfman? I think. Has that come in twice? I don't know. We've got Jamie Hart in the chat. Hi, Jamie. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for jumping on. Times Legolas dad for The Hobbit, from The Hobbit.
That guy from Wolfman, what's his name? Something Abbott, you said. What's his first name?
What's that now?
Another guy from
Christopher
Wolfman.
Abbott.
Christopher Abbott, the guy looks like Jon Snow. He
he does, yeah.
He was in the first series of Sinner. Have you seen that?
Yeah, of course I have. He played
Jessica
the partner.
Biel. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's the first thing I seen him in.
Yeah.
He's got dead eyes. He's got these black eyes, and I love them. It's perfect for horror movies.
Yeah.
John Moran says, point me in the direction of the people that think Harry Styles is the next Bowie, and I'll fire up my flamethrower.
Yes. Thank you.
That's the spirit, John.
I feel like people are thinking that you think it, and you just said it.
Donkey said, James Curtis was missing you when you left him on a lonesome.
I know.
Well, I have just realised, guys, that I am not built to do this on my own.
The
second it was just me on the screen, I'm like, fuck it.
It felt like as if I'd gone out of the room. I was still watching you.
Bastard. You looking at me sweating as
I
well.
was laughing because you said the sperm thing again. I was laughing off screen.
Wolfman says, tell Maxwell to check his permissions on Chrome if he's using Chrome. There we are. Nice one, Wolfman. Isn't it affiliate minus? Yeah. And we've got Hugh Huckridge in the chat. Evening, all horror fans. Evening, Hugh, mate. Hope you're doing well. Oh, that's another one. Chris Abra's in a great film with John Berthnell. Yes, I've seen that. What's it called? John Berthnell runs a motel, and he's quite a quiet introvert, isn't he?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, Chris Abbott turns up to town to kill someone, and he crosses paths with John Berthnell's character. He's having a relationship with this older woman, and he won't quite commit to her. John, help me out, pal. I literally watched that film about 3 months ago. It's a cracking film.
Do you know John Berthnell? Do you know, even though he's the Punisher in Marvel, I always thought, he'd make a really good Wolverine replacement.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I can see that.
But my typical superhero head, which I thought, actually, his nose has been broken about 500 times. And I thought, Wolverine heals. So it wouldn't make any sense. These things like I get obsessed with.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
I watched like that TV show of Supergirl that was on TV a few years ago, when there was a run of like Arrow and all those shit shows. And oh yeah, we got him. Hang on. My point wasn't that important, so I'm just gonna click it. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, what's happening, pal?
You're tiny.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's not. It's probably not your fault. It's probably the software. It plays up sometimes. You are absolutely tiny. I wonder if we can make you bigger.
We'll try and turn the landscape. Maybe. Would it work?
I did. Oh, that's better. If you could, yeah.
Any better?
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah, yeah. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's good. Can't complain. Weather's crap as always.
Yeah. We've been trying to get you on for a while, and it's great to meet you, pal. I've been watching some of your stuff. It's excellent.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm watching your streams. It's almost like podcast. I just like listen to it while I'm walking. Always a great laugh.
Don't listen
Top
while
man.
we're walking. It's dangerous. Yeah. Listen to two Welsh guys talking shit.
It has made me walk into a few walls, I'll admit.
So while you're on, because I know we're running a bit late now, I'd probably butcher it. So do you want to give a little bit of a plug to your channel? And we'll do another one at the end. Do a little bit about yourself, what your channel is about.
Yeah, my name is Max. I'm sure you know by that. The channel's just basically reviewing horror movies and implementing like skits and acting and stuff. So yeah, that's always fun. Any excuse to talk horror. That's literally it.
100%. It's just, sometimes Curtis and I say we're talking about 10 minutes before we go live, and we're like wasting all the good material before 10 minutes because we're just talking horror. And we're thinking we should save this. This is gold. Yeah.
Next time we'll definitely be more prepared.
Oh, right. I love in your pinhead. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I thought
it's got that a long time ago, actually.
So what I thought I'd do. Let me just read a couple of comments first. A second. Bear with me 1 second. That's yeah. We'll come back to the comments. Is it right if I ask you a couple of questions? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Cool. Fire away. What's the price?
Right. So, what's your favorite movie of all time?
It's one that literally nobody ever hears about. They always say, "I've never heard of it." And I'm like, "How?" But it's a Stephen King movie, and it's called Cat's Eye.
I love Cat's Eye. It's great. The James Wood segment with the cigarette.
Someone else.
Yeah, I think we've got.
Yeah.
We did like a Stephen King thing the other day, and I think
yeah.
One of my picks, wasn't it?
It's great because you've got that opening where it's where you're going down the street. Christine's there, Cujo, and the cat's kind of going in between all these characters from the Stephen King universe. Cracking film, pal. It's definitely not one I've heard being someone's favourite. For me, it's a film that I love, but I wouldn't put it in any of my top lists, you know?
It's understandable. I get it can be goofy, and I completely get all that. Pretty much early Stephen King, like all of his early movies are pretty goofy and don't age that well, but I
don't mind goofy. My only problem with Cat's Eye is the one where the guy's forced to go out onto go outside of the building. I think it's a weak segment in a very good film.
What was the reason he was going out on the with the pigeons were pecking him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember the plot.
It was basically the guy. Basically, he was cheating with like this big millionaire's wife. So basically, the millionaire tells him that we've planted drugs in the back of your car, and the police will be called in 15 minutes, or you can accept this wager. If you can go out, walk around the building, you can get the drugs taken away. You'll get
that's it.
$1 million or whatever, and you get my wife. So that's basically
because I watched it as a kid, and I always had the memory of the pigeon pecking at his foot and his blood on his sock. It's a really good scene. Yeah. But I think the smoking segment's my favorite. It's such a good idea. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's my favorite segment in the whole world.
Yeah, it's very well crafted, and it actually does creep me out. I remember whenever I was younger, and I saw, whenever they came like the platter of food, and there was like eyes on it, and they looked over. I remember as a kid that creeped me out.
And you've got a really young Drew Barrymore, isn't there? The monster one.
Yeah.
The monster in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
the little troll.
It is very underrated. There's so many. Nobody ever talks about it. Everybody talks about like It and Pet Sematary, but Cat's Eyes is kind of a bit of a forgotten gem, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's one of the movies that I hope they never remake, because I don't think it would have the same charm.
You know what? They could just remake it and do different segments. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So Tyler Adams says Cat's Eye, so freaking good. You're not alone, buddy. Tyler's my dude.
Just to answer one that was up a bit more, movie Sperm. We are going to do Freddy's Dead. It is in the works. I've done the thumbnail ready. We'll definitely do it. I genuinely can't wait to shit on that movie.
Yeah. We've got a bit of PTSD from doing so much Freddy stuff.
We needed a break, like. It became a chore, put Freddy on.
Are you a fan of Freddy, Max?
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, I think he's at his scariest and best in part 2.
Scariest,
Yes. Yeah. We said that's the best.
I agree. I think so. Anyway,
as well is incredible.
The whole witch look. I actually like it. I think it's genuinely terrifying.
It's a shame they moved away from that look, because that should have been the staple of Freddy from that point, because they kind of nailed it, didn't they?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I love how wet his face looks. In the later films, he looks very dry.
It becomes more like bubblegum as the movies go on.
Yeah, especially number 6. I think what happened probably was that one, they were the budget, and two, the probably when it was easier to get it on and off, but you lose some of the realism, isn't it? I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's right.
So we got Eli Cortez. My favorite Stephen King movie is The Night Flyer.
Yes, you love that one.
I don't get that film. I really struggle with that one.
I haven't seen it in years. I had it on DVD. I loved it growing up. It's such a great concept. A vampire knocking about at night in an aeroplane. And it's got a great look. I think the vampire looks awesome. But I haven't seen it easily 20 years, maybe 20 years. I can't imagine it's aged very well.
Yeah. It's I remember watching. It's a TV movie, I think, isn't it? Or was it a mini series? I forget.
I think it was a TV movie, maybe.
Yeah. So we got Donkey. Hi, Maxwell. Hope you're well. Thanks for being here. Talking all horror. That's one of a big friend of the channel. She's pretty much on every week. We got Jill John. Hi, Max. Maxwell. Nice for you to join us all. Awesome.
Thank you.
1 second. Toronto Freddy, Twisted Locker.
Hey, what's happening, pal?
Awesome. Hi, Toronto. How's it going? Jaden Christopher. Hi, Jaden. I love the Dead Alive and Suspiria posters.
Oh, yes. Extra. I'll get this out every time someone mentions Brain Dead. Extra love for Brain Dead. Look at that. Bad boy. Yeah. And the guy, right, who creates these.
That's pretty kick-ass.
Andy Corp. I always catch him at the HorrorCon. And I've just seen on his Instagram that he's currently designing the demon mask. The mask from Demons.
What, the silver one or actual monster mask?
No, this one, the mask.
All right. I see.
That one. Awesome. So he's designing that one with a plaque and everything. I'm absolutely getting that one.
Will it come with a little sharp thing inside so it pricks you when you put it on? Have you seen Demons?
Imagine. I've seen it when I was a kid, long time ago. I have to rewatch it just to get familiar with it. But I remember like bits and pieces with it. But
It's
long time ago.
It's one of my all-time favourites.
Yeah, Don Keith, Stu Maxwell, Pinhead looks fantastic. It does. Where'd you get that from?
My cousin had it a long time ago, about 15 years ago, and I bought it all from. I think I traded it for.
Not crack, I hope.
What was it? I think it was a. Yeah, I mean, no. I don't know. I think it was a PlayStation controller or something. I traded for.
Pinhead smiling in that model. He looks pretty happy. I've never seen him happy.
Only if you stare at it long enough, he talks. I swear to God.
Toronto. They literally spoiled the ending of the film in the fucking title.
Is that Freddy's dead, or are we talking about Freddy's dead?
Alive?
Yeah.
Gina, love The Stand. It actually sticks close to the book. Do you know, I've never seen The Stand.
Oh, I've seen both of them. I loved the original when I was younger. I haven't seen it in years. I think the Darkman's a bit shit. I don't like the casting. I don't like the... Maybe it's in the book. I haven't read the book, but the double denim and the mullet. I couldn't get behind it. And I love the new one. Apart from Amber Heard, I thought the new one was fantastic.
Is Amber Heard in it?
Yes, she is. And Skarsgård is great in it. I absolutely loved it. And I love the lore around the Darkman. I just love the story of The Stand. Again, I haven't read the book, but I used to watch the original one all the time.
Isn't it
that opening scene with "Don't Fear the Reaper"? So good.
Isn't it crazy how, like we were talking about Zombieland the other week, and I mentioned, hey, we forgot Amber Heard is in it, and it seems to be like a massive thing. You know, oh my God,
Amber Heard.
Yeah, Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Got another one for you, Maxwell. Jordan Moran says, "Hi Max, great, good to meet you. I got a lot of love you." And we got Jane Christopher. Quick question: what mics do you guys use? I just started a horror podcast myself, but I don't have a great mic. Looking for a new one. I've heard Blue Yetis are good. I had a Blue Yeti, and it was good. I took it back because I didn't have the right settings. What I've got here is the Sennheiser. Oh, I forgot what it's called now. Sennheiser something. What have you got now, Curtis? Forgotten.
I've got a HyperX. I can't remember the full brand name. I'm not 100% happy with this mic. I'll probably upgrade in a few months' time. The problem with these mics are there's so many settings on them. You've got to patch so much. And I imagine the more expensive you go with mics, the more settings you'll have. Yeah. But I can't quite get this one right. I've watched so many videos.
So this one, the Sennheiser, is really good. It's very simple. All the controls are on the actual thing. There's no app or anything like that. And it's a good mid-range sort of one. And I haven't had any problems with it at all. Oh, no, I did initially. Yeah.
What's the name of your horror channel, pal? Is it connected to Jaden Christopher? I'll have to check it out, mate.
Yeah. Give it a plug. Eli Cortez, I freaking love Demons. Yes, we talk about Demons a lot.
Yeah, I love that film. I always go back and forth between the 1 and 2. It's a tough one. I love the setting of the second one, but I just think the first one is so much more ferocious. I do think part 2 is watered down a bit, but it's still a great movie. I just think the first one has more violence. Yeah. And I'm a man who loves violence.
How many is there? Is there 2 or 3?
So
it's just
there's
2, isn't it?
2 official ones. There's a third one. They only used the title Demons 3. But then there's also The Church, which was directed by Michele Soavi. So The Church, if you've ever seen that Italian horror movie, that was written as Demons 3. But when he came on board, he changed the title to The Church because he wanted to make a classy horror film, and he just didn't want to be kind of connected to Demons 1 and 2, even though he's in Demons 1. And Demons 2.
As a kid, I was very confused with Demons 3. I was like, oh, Demons 3. And you can tell just from the back of the cover, it wasn't. It's a bit like Zombie and Zombie Flesh Eaters and Zombie 3. And I think it's so confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But officially, there's only 2 demons.
Yeah. I'll ask you another. Is it okay? I keep asking you a few questions, Maxwell. So, what was you?
Fire away.
What
One
was
of
your
us will answer.
favorite film of 2024, or favorite films? Even doesn't have to be a top one.
It's a good question, actually. That's actually quite tough.
Gun to your head.
Literally. Remind me what movies came out last year.
The Substance.
It's been a rough one.
You got Heretics, Speak No Evil.
Terrifier 3.
Terrifier 3. Yeah, that's...
Abigail stands out to me, I think, the most.
Abigail just missed out on my top 5. There was a few that just missed out. I loved that in the first half of 2024, but then so many good ones came out in the last half. Kind of got knocked down a few spots. The Substance ended up being my favourite movie of the year by a long mile.
Yeah, Substance was number 2. Strange Darling was number 1. It wasn't quite a horror. It was more of a thriller. But I'd say, flat out horror, I'd say Substance gets it for me, definitely.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, I think the issue, though, with Abigail, I think, was the trailer. It was the promotion that spoiled what should have been a plot twist, in the movie, not before you saw the movie, which I think kind of ruined the credibility for it.
I think it's like studios fear that they can't market it unless they give enough, and I think they just go all in on telling you everything, which is frustrating.
Definitely. There's been too many cases where the studio has interfered on a twist because they're struggling to market a movie, and I don't blame them. There's loads of movies out there that are now cult classics that the studios just couldn't market. Like Big Trouble in Little China flopped in the cinema. The studio just didn't know what to do with it. How do we market this movie? And it's the same with most films that come out these days. It can be a great movie and it can hold some secrets when you watch it, but unless the studio think they can market it, there's nothing they can do about it. And I think Abigail, it didn't really cross my mind that they marketed it badly. I just feel like it wasn't a twist. This is a vampire movie and that young girl's a vampire and that's it.
Yeah.
It was only until after the film came out, I seen people complaining about it should have been a hidden twist. I didn't see it that way. I think it was the main plot of the movie, and I think it happened quite early on in the film.
Yeah, I think if it's a bit like From Dusk Till Dawn, it's very difficult to keep that a secret because if you just market sorry, you carry on.
No, you were talking first. Sorry,
if you just market From Dusk Till Dawn as a flat out Tarantino-esque gangster film, and you get all these people like my dad going, "Oh, I love gangsters." To a trashy vampire film, you're thinking, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" But me just so happened to like the two genres.
Yeah. This is my thing. If From Dusk Till Dawn, if the trailer was just titles from Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, and then I'd be like, sold.
Yeah, 100%.
Simple, yeah. I think though it's not impossible. I mean, they could have look, Longlegs did it. It didn't show Nicolas Cage in makeup, but it did little things, little snippets, and it was promoted very well. So it's not impossible. They could have promoted it without spoil. I think if it wasn't spoiled until the movie, it would have impacted.
100%.
Yeah,
more.
I think you can definitely do it with the smaller movies, because they're not relying on the box office as much. I'm way too big.
Hang on. Oh, is that better? I think that's better, isn't it? No?
Yeah.
What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah.
Is that better, Maxwell? No.
Beautiful.
Pinhead. Did I cut you off then? Sorry, Kurt. Are you in the middle of saying something?
No, it's all right. I was just saying, I feel like Abigail was meant to be a big studio movie that should have brought in loads of money. So obviously they've got to do whatever they can. Yeah. But I feel like Longlegs, it was Neon, I think, did Longlegs. Neon.
Yeah, Neon.
Very small budget, very independent movie. I feel like they could get away with being a bit more mysterious in that one. But I do agree with you, pal. I think if there was a twist in the movie that Abigail was a vampire, it would have definitely been a nice surprise. They could have sold that movie on the cast alone, I think.
Well,
Great cast.
I tell you what, right? I don't know if you've seen Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, Maxwell.
Oh, I never bothered with that.
So
no, I don't think I haven't seen that
one. Right,
it's pretty shit.
It's telling it to me very well.
My point is, so that was marketed as Pride and Prejudice meets Zombies. My wife loves Pride and Prejudice. I love Zombies. She hates Zombies. I hate Pride and Prejudice. So you think, oh, that's the perfect movie to watch. No. She hated it because there were zombies in it. And I hated it because there was fucking corsets in it.
Yeah.
So nobody won.
I'm going to read a few comments, right, Jenks?
Yeah. There was another... Sorry, carry on, Curtis.
We got Jaden. Oh, it's actually on my co-host channel, but I can share the link to our first episode. Yeah, definitely do that, pal. I'll check that out. We did our first episode of our most anticipated horror flicks coming out in 2025. Awesome. I think I missed. Toronto Fred says New Line also spoiled the ending of Friday the 13th 9 in the film's title, Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, they love doing it, pal. They love spoiling. Eli Cortez, you need to show Jenks Chuck Steele, Curtis. I absolutely do, but I know we fucking hate it.
What was it called? Chuck Steele.
Chuck Steele, yeah. It's a stop motion claymation. A Night of the Trampires, remember?
No, but I did see. Is it like stop motion that came out last year? That was amazing. That was excellent.
Also do The Church Rules. I feel like I'm one of the few people who actually prefer The Sect. Or The Sect is great, pal. I've got that on VHS and Blu-ray. I didn't know, right, that Jamie Lee Curtis had a sister. And when I first watched The Sect, I was like, oh, that looks exactly like Jamie Lee Curtis. Turns out it's her sister in it, which is quite cool. I don't think she's done much.
And she got a famous dad, Tony Curtis.
Yeah, but she's in an Italian horror movie.
That's crazy.
The Church is killer. Yeah, how about that demon sex scene? Have you seen The Church, boys?
I started watching it, I switched it off. It was pretty shit.
It's a great movie. Fantastic. Proper atmospheric. Great setting.
So Maxwell, I'll just tell you a little bit about Curtis. If it's a film that's shit, he loves it. Yeah, he's got it on Blu-ray. He's got a tattoo of it. He's got a poster.
And that's why people love me. That's a selling point. I am the ultimate horror fan. I'll watch anything and I'll get enjoyment out of just about anything.
See? That's a quality.
It's a quality. Now, Jenks is known for calling everything shit.
Hang on, right.
You know, Max, who's winning here, like?
Max,
who's winning?
Now, let me tell you now, right? I absolutely loved Strange Darling, okay? Because I'm classy, yeah? But Curtis hated it because it
wait there now.
It was not enough slime in it and gore.
I didn't hate it, right? I gave it 3 stars.
Slime or anything melting. If it's somebody melting in it, it's pop.
I didn't hate it, right? I give it 3 stars. Now, if it was released and it didn't have the hype that I had, I would have probably enjoyed it more. But I went to cinema expecting this masterpiece, and it started off great. It had those Tarantino vibes. I just think it went all downhill. I didn't like the uneven narrative, the switching back and forth. It kind of took me out of the movie. Now, when Tarantino does it, it's entertaining because the stories that you're going back and forth to are entertaining stories. I just didn't enjoy the story in this one.
Have you seen it, Max?
I don't think I have.
Maybe he'll never watch it.
It's on my list now. It's on my to-do list. Oh no, I'll watch it. I'll make my own opinion.
Yeah, not to shit on Curtis' opinion. Obviously, he's entitled to it, but it is mostly well received. So there's a good chance you'd enjoy it, and it's quite popular. A lot of people talking about it, isn't it? It's not. It should be obscure, but it's not. I think a lot of people.
It's kind of forgotten now, though, isn't it? People have stopped talking about it.
Shut up. Right,
hey, it wasn't the best Kyle Gallner movie of 2024. Smile 2.
Yes. Have you seen Smile 2, Max?
No, I haven't seen Smile 2. I've seen the first one.
Smile 2's better.
But I haven't seen the second. I've heard a lot of good things about it though, and I do want to watch it. It's high on my list to
I
watch.
recommend it.
I missed it in cinema, and I've been dying to watch it for a few weeks. And it was £20 to rent on Amazon. I thought, I'm not paying 20 quid, and it's just dropped to £4.99. So I jumped on it Friday. I think Friday I watched it, and I was very impressed with it. Very impressed.
20 quid to rent a film is nonsense.
That's pretty crazy, like 20 just to watch, and you only have it for what, 24 hours they give it to you for?
Yeah.
For 20 quid?
That's nonsense.
Toronto Freddy, Twisted Locker, did you enjoy those tracks I linked you? I did, pal. Do you know, a lot of them, sorry mate, I think I didn't reply to the last few you sent me. Proper throwbacks. Top man.
There's a message from Dawn there, right? It's just up from there. Where's your poltergeist clown? It is you.
It's forgotten about, Dawn.
I've rejiggled my background. I think I might pin it by there. I asked Curtis, does it look all right? And he said, yeah. So it'll be up next week. Don't panic.
Because my opinion matters. Eli Cortez says, Curtis, you're my guy, brother. 100% with you, bud. I know that, pal, as always. Trash Brothers. That's
yes.
So me and Eli have actually been chatting the last few weeks, Jenks. And we're putting together our own channel called the Trash Brothers.
That's a great
It's happening.
title.
It's coming.
I am going to make my own channel. It's just going to be called Shit. And I'm going to see if I can get away with it with the YouTube. Right. What's your most anticipated film of next year, Maxwell?
Oh, this year, do you mean, Jenks?
Oh, this
Jesus
year. Sorry,
Christ.
this year.
Get with the times, Jenks.
To be fair, even I keep forgetting it's 2025. Gosh, good question. What's all coming out this year?
Our presence is like from the point of view, the POV of a ghost, and it's made by Steven Soderbergh. He traditionally does things like Ocean's 11 and what else has he done? Loads of those sort of heist movies, action. Not really known for horror, but it's not unique to have a ghost as the main protagonist, but it's the camera, the point of view is the ghost. So the camera is the eyes of the ghost, and it looks quite the unique way of filming it.
Yeah.
Worth checking out the trailer.
I'm already sold. I like that. I like the sound of it already. Like, that's just for you talking about it. So
I loved Innovative.
Interesting concept.
I loved it. So if we're going to get a point of view of a Jason type slasher killer, I'm all for them doing it with a ghost.
Yeah. The only thing in the trailer of Presence, Maxwell, it says one of the scariest films ever. I'm thinking, how could it be scary if you're following the ghost around? Like he's not going to jump out on you because you are the ghost. This is stupid.
I mean, how many movies have that exact thing, the scariest thing you'll ever see, and then you walk out what?
It's always worrying to me when I see sound bites from not sound bites, but titles from people who have already seen the film saying the scariest movie you'll ever see. It's never a good sign.
Or the sweet spot is when they say people were fainting or running out of the cinema. And it's like, what kind of... I've never seen anybody run out of the cinema.
I have, but I've been in movies where people have walked out. And do you know how they get up and walk out? They just stand up and walk out.
Right.
No one's ever run out of the cinema.
I'll tell you something. Have you seen Terrifier 3, Maxwell?
No, I've seen 1 and 2.
Obviously, if you've seen the first 2, you know they're very gory. So I watched it on my own and it came to the cinema, only because of the channel. They're not my cup of tea. And I was dying for a pee. And because I was on my own, I thought, if I get up for a pee, people are going to think I'm walking out because I'm scared. So I held it in for ages. Genuinely.
God, that alone would be more terrifying.
Ridiculous.
Peeing yourself or something.
I seen so many walkouts on the glass debater scene.
The glass debater scene. I like that scene.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I quite fancy that zombie witch. Yeah, she was the best thing in there. I gotta say, I think
the paper bag term comes to mind.
Yeah. I got so you got Presence is coming out. What else is coming out? Remind me, Kurt. The Wolfman is next week.
Yeah. The Monkey, that's another one I'm looking forward to. I Know What You Did Last Summer. They're doing a new one of that.
I thought it was a series.
No, it's already been a series on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Nobody watched
They're
it.
doing a new one, and I think the cast are coming back. I know I've read Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know if Jennifer Love Hewitt's in there. She hasn't been in anything in years.
Oh, so
But it's.
I think a lot of them.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
Carry on.
Sorry, no. I was just saying a lot of like old, like 90s or early 2000s, like slashers are doing that where they're all just bringing them all back,
sequels.
like Halloween 2018, Scream 5, etc. It seems like they're all doing it. Either they're running out of ideas or hopefully it's decent and not just bringing it back just for the sake of,
I think it's.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
selling.
It's probably not running out of ideas. It's just they're running out of money and they're just desperate to have a hit, like almost guaranteed
100%.
hit. You know, but it doesn't guarantee anything. Look, Indiana Jones 5 and the Dial of Dysentery was so shit, and it was the biggest flop, probably the biggest flop of all time. It made like 300 million, and they reckon it needed to make $1 billion to break even. Oh God, that's brilliant. So nothing's guaranteed.
No chance.
You know, even Indiana Jones or Star Wars. Yeah. Another question for you. What's your worst movie of, have I asked you this, of last year? You probably reviewed it on your channel.
I've reviewed a lot of bad movies. God. Of last year, though. That's okay. Of last year. I think Longlegs might have been on that.
It was for me.
Because as much as I love Nicolas Cage and he sold it, he was the highlight of the movie. Everything else was crap. It was just boring. The main protagonist, the lady, there was like a scene where, you know, the husband took his wife into the kitchen to, you know, and she just stood there like, you're supposed to be a cop. Are you not trained for shit like this? Why the fuck are you zoning out? I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. Sorry,
but you'd agree with that, Kurt. You know, I loved it, but you didn't. You didn't like it.
I was so disappointed. It was one of the most anticipated movies ever. I was so excited for it. I was there when they started dropping those teasers, the really creepy images. Oh my God, in that first trailer they dropped, I was beyond excited. And I pissed a lot of people off that I know because I wouldn't stop talking about it. I got everyone on the hype train, and a lot of people that I got to go to cinema to see it, they were all like, what the fuck was that?
It was really well marketed though, wasn't it? Like,
yeah,
I
was so disappointed. I remember, right? Because I went to go see with my girlfriend, and obviously she knows how excited I was to see it. And we leave cinema and we're walking out, and she just looks at me and she can just see straight away how pissed off I am, because I was genuinely like drained by how much I hated it, because I was so excited. And I think maybe like 20, 30 minutes in, I knew that I weren't going to enjoy it. And the worst, sorry if I'm going on a bit now, the worst part for me, right, was they built up this lore around Nicolas Cage's character, right, Longlegs. He should have been the most terrifying character ever put to screen. That's what they built up. But then you've got that scene where he walks in the convenience store and the girl behind the counter, she's like, Dad, that weird guy's here again. And then the creepiest part in the trailer is when he does this thing and the noise, and he does the cuckoo. It was just devoid of any tension whatsoever. This girl didn't care about him. Dad, that creepy guy's here again. No, his presence should be terrifying.
Yeah, I agree with you, because that scene, it could have been that he's just a creepy guy in the shop, and then maybe her father should have gone, I'm nipping out, and then all of a sudden she's on her own with him. The mood could change completely, but they didn't. They wasted a good opportunity.
There was so many beats early on.
Yeah, I feel it would have been...
my interest was dropping and dropping and dropping until by the time the end came around, I was just done. I just couldn't be asked to finish it, like. Although I did finish it.
Yeah. What were we going to say, Maxwell?
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that convenience store scene. I think it would have been a lot creepier. Like if they had, like, say, like the the lighting, like say over spacing, they didn't want to like show him too early. They could have just had him like maybe just show his eyes or something like that, and just standing there in silence,
Yeah.
just staring. That's it. That would have been creepier than the what we actually
they
got
could
in
have
that scene.
have had this just seeing it through the point of view of the security camera, and it's a grainy image, and there's something off about him, anything. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It's on Amazon Prime now, actually.
Yeah. I did see.
Is if I read a few comments? Which one was your last one, Curtis?
Yeah. Knock yourself out, Jenks. We are here.
Eli. Sorry. I'm calling movie sperm. I'm calling everybody the wrong thing. Damn, Max looks like an old school 80s drag lord. Don't mess with that dude. Yes, you've got the what's his name? Escobar.
Chopper.
Escobar. Yeah, Chopper.
It's more Chopper, isn't it?
Have you seen Chopper? The film.
Yeah.
It is one of the best films ever made.
Yeah, it's great.
That's a compliment. Chopper's the man. The bit when he butts the mother-in-law and he says, your mum's upset.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
So good.
Yeah.
Classic.
Brilliant. And he shoots that drug dealer and he's like takes him to the hospital. He goes, oh, go on then, as if he hadn't shot the one who shot him. As if he's doing him a favour. So good. Right, sorry. I'm lost again now, Kurt.
One down from that. There's one we got Jaden, Christopher.
Right. My scroll is different to yours here because you.
Right, do you may read the comments, Jags?
You'll have to.
The last walker I saw was for In a Violent Nature. Drunk couple walked past me and my girl and whispered, "This movie is shit. You guys should leave too." Fair enough. I know. I'm almost in the minority here for loving that movie.
Curtis, this movie is shit. You guys should leave. That should be the tagline on the poster. Yeah, how funny would that be? This movie is shit. You should leave too.
Gina says
that would encourage me to go watch it.
We all walked out of the track racing film with Tom Cruise in the 90s. We were so bored. I can't even remember his name. Days of Thunder.
Yes, drinks.
Great film.
That's a good film.
Worst horror movie of last year was by far The Mousetrap. Oh, I didn't watch that one. It kind of came with a wave of blood and honey and all that shit.
Jaden, if Curtis didn't watch it, it must be beyond shit. Yeah.
Toronto Freddy says, is the Monkey film the biopic about Robbie Robertson? If you've seen the trailer, you'll get that. I don't know who Robbie Robertson is.
Is it an American?
I don't know.
Can you put on a comment and explain the joke?
Is the film Longlegs a confusing film to follow? A little bit on. I wouldn't say overly confusing. But there's a lot of things intertwining together. I wouldn't say too confusing. If you seem pretty clued up on horrors, Don, I think you'd be okay with it. But a lot of people loved it. I found it disappointing.
I really liked it. I'd highly recommend it. Like I said, it's on Amazon Prime.
Perfect timing from Abigail Palfrey. Longlegs was painfully disappointing. Agreed. Tyler says, Robbie Williams. I remember him on MTV VH1 around 2000. Didn't know he was one of the biggest pop stars in the world.
Yes, he's in the new film Better Man. As a monkey.
That is tanked. Oh my God, have you seen the box office numbers?
No.
It hasn't broke 10 mil yet.
How much did it cost to make? Probably a lot because he's a monkey.
200 million, I think.
No way. 200 million. Oof. Yeah. It would be cheaper just to have Robbie Williams rather than making him a monkey. Or put a mask on him. A monkey mask, like a cheap one from trading places.
Eli Cortez says, Late Night with the Devil is the best of 2024.
Yes. Awesome.
I'm ready to give her another watch. I was slightly disappointed with it the first time I seen it. I didn't think there was much wrong with it. I can't really pinpoint what I didn't like. There was just something missing. But I'm ready to give it a rewatch.
So what did you say you thought of it, Maxwell?
I loved it. I thought it was unique and it was different. I loved the whole 1970s style I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
David Malchani.
Yeah, Das Malchani or something, yeah.
Anyway, he was amazing, wasn't he, Max? Such a good performance, so believable.
Oh,
yeah, Maxwell, have you seen Ghost Watch?
Ghost Watch.
Yeah,
I think I have.
very
Yeah,
similar to that, like a pretend documentary. It was on BBC in the early 90s with Michael Parkinson. Craig Charles is really good. Very similar.
So Jaden Christopher says,
stuff.
so Curtis, you're a big Italian horror film fan. That's kind of become my bread and butter over the past couple of years.
Fair play.
I am. I'm very heavily into my Italian horror movies, specifically 60s, 70s. And up until about mid-80s, they kind of dropped off after that. But I've followed all the directors. I've collected all their movies. I spent a good, easily 3 or 4 years of my life just collecting Italian horror movies, eating up whatever I could. It is probably my second favourite country that makes horror movies. Dario Argento is one of my favourite directors of all time. I love Lucio Fulci, Joe D'Amato, Michele Soavi. There's so many. But yeah, nice to definitely check your channel out, pal, if you're going to be talking about Italian horror movies. Gina says, we're all giving our money back and rented a VHS to watch at mine instead. I've never attempted to watch it again. The question is, was the VHS you rented better than Days of Thunder? And last one, Toronto Freddy, have you guys ever heard of Haddonfield Radio? Check those boys out, their podcasts are incredibly engaging. Oh. I haven't, pal, but I'll definitely get on that.
Right.
Definitely.
So what was your horror film that kind of got you into it, Maxwell? Into the love of horror, you know? Was it one? Was it a few? Was it something that happened to you? Some trauma.
Sounds sinister. Something happened to you that made you love horror. No, I think whenever I was a kid, my grandmother, she used to bring back VHS tapes, and they were all horror movies. So there was Scanners, Cat's Eye. That was one of the first ones. What else was it? I think it was The Return of the Living Dead 3.
Yes, I love that film. Cracking.
Yeah. Brilliant movie. But I watched them and I just loved them. And then every time someone was watching a horror movie, you know, whenever you're a kid and someone told you weren't allowed to watch it, but you sort of sneak in because it was dark. The room was dark, and you snuck in behind the sofa and you watched it. I did that all the time. Till eventually they were like, fuck it, just take a seat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't have any restraints. I was watching Evil Dead 1 from the age of 8, which is just ridiculous. I'd never show that to my daughter now.
It is a funny thing, because when I stick films on for my daughter, she's 15 tomorrow, but not my 9-year-old. She's a scaredy cat. She won't watch like even Goosebumps and things like that. But my oldest, as long as there's no sex in it, as long as there's no anything too tortury, then I'll stick it on. You know, I want her to be scared. Like I stuck on Evil Dead Rise for her a few weeks ago, and it's very gory, and it's easily one of the goriest films I've seen for a long time, bar like Terrifier 3, because Terrifier 3 is quite silly. It's a bit easier to watch, but with Evil Dead Rise, it's a real family, it feels like, and the stakes are a lot higher, and when people die in it, it's real. Whereas Terrifier is silly.
Yeah.
It's more goofy.
It's still hard to watch in some scenes. It's not easy to watch. It's cartoony, but you have to have a strong stomach to endure Terrifier 3, I think.
I get this now. Obviously, the monkey, Betterman, Robbie Williams, Robbie Robertson. Eli says Ghostwatch is so damn good. It's such a hidden gem. I don't think enough people know about this one. Absolute cracker of a film.
For me, Maxwell, Return of the Living Dead 1 was my film that I really got me into horror, and certainly zombies, and Evil Dead 2. Not the most interesting picks, because that's pretty much everyone's go-to, especially Evil Dead 2. I wish it was like some Italian horror, rare, bootleg. Yeah.
Big.
It was Evil Dead 2, which was the perfect entry-level horror, I think, because it's scary enough for a kid, but a little bit goofy enough. It's not, it's clearly meant to be silly, even though I didn't find it silly as a kid. I always found it quite serious. Only as an adult, I found Evil Dead 2 to be a comedy. I think it's pretty much the same for you, Kurt, isn't it? Evil Dead 2, was it? Or was it
definitely. I didn't get any joy out of I got joy out of it, but any sort of fun out of Evil Dead 2 growing up.
That was one of your first, isn't it, I think, with your dad?
Yes. Sorry, we're talking about first. I zoned out a bit there then. You were boring me.
Oh, Maxwell, well, how rude.
No.
Me.
I'd say Evil Dead 2, Critters was a very early one. Army of Darkness was my main movie. That's the one that really got me into horror, even though it's the least horror movie of all of them. And Street Trash.
Have you heard of Street Trash, Max?
Heard many stories, yeah.
It's so bad. It's free on YouTube if you want to watch it.
That was one of film movies I think my father wouldn't let me watch because there's a scene where they're playing Pig in the Middle with someone's cock. It's a very rude and nasty film, definitely not suitable for a kid. And yeah, I think I watched it on my own. And I loved it, and it's just stuck with me. But I remember watching it for the first time, and I was just horrified. And nothing's quite replicated that feeling again. Like.
Max, it's absolute shit. Honestly, I know we say this before, but I watched it just to sort of.
I'm sick of hearing about it, Jenks. I'm sick to death of hearing about it.
I just looked at him and I shook my head, and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with your brain?"
Toronto, so you're saying I got brain problems now? We're going to get personal, are we?
Toronto Fred, he says, Robert friggin' England is coming to Niagara Falls Comic Con at the end of May.
That'd be so cool.
If I go, it will be my 7th time meeting him. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Jesus Christ. He doesn't come over here very often. I would love to meet Robert Englund.
Bruce Campbell and Robert Englund, 2 top tier horror for me.
Bruce Campbell is my top bucket list for people who I think I can meet. I think there's a chance I can meet him. But Kurt Russell, if I had to pick two celebrities, I'll do two celebrities to meet. It would be Quentin Tarantino and Kurt Russell.
Yeah, you ain't meeting them.
No, I know. I've been in the same room as John Carpenter. I'll take that.
Yeah, it's he's not going to go to like Cardiff Con, is he? Kurt Russell.
No, do you know what? I don't know what it's like in America, but I don't think he's very well known for doing conventions, Kurt Russell.
I don't think a lot of them need it. A lot of them they need it as a sideline. And these are multi-millionaires. They don't need it.
Yeah.
I just want to read a couple more if you don't mind. So Tyler Adams, the horror on screen was an improvement to the horror of my childhood.
That's fair enough in some cases, pal, yeah.
Yes.
You watch like the most gruesome horror movie ever made and it's still escapism, like.
Yeah.
Life can be shit.
It is. I do know what I love about, because you said, Maxwell, like your favourite horror of all time is Cat's Eyes. And I love that because everybody, like in Curtis and I circles, we tend to be like Evil Dead 2. It's always the same sort of ones. And it's so refreshing when someone got one completely left field.
100%.
And I think that's what makes horror so great.
What about Street Trash then?
Yeah, definitely.
Street Trash. Right.
That's completely left field. Come on, Jenks.
Right, Max, homework for you now, okay? You got to watch Street Trash.
Jesus Christ.
Dawn says, I remember when I was growing up under the age of 10, my dad used to have the Hammer House of Horrors on film on. I'd ask, could I watch it? And he'd say, don't blame me if you have nightmares.
That's the best way to do it, isn't it? If you want to watch it, I let you.
I love that.
But it's on you if you have nightmares. Now, I'm a shithouse and I'm too scared to show my daughter things that'll scare her because I don't want her to have nightmares. I showed her Trick or Treat a few weeks ago and there's a few scenes there where I could see her looking at me as if to say, like, you're going to have to turn this off soon because I'm starting to get scared. And I'm just there ready to turn it off. Like,
yeah, that's a bit selfish. What if I wanted to have nightmares? You never asked me, yeah? My opinion.
All right, Freddie, calm down.
What do you think of Hammer horror? Is that you into that, Maxwell?
I haven't seen it in a long time, so I actually can't even remember much of
I
it.
think Christopher Lee's performance of Dracula is so brilliant. It's very humorless, and that's what makes it amazing. He's just relentless, isn't it, in those films?
Yeah, he's so good.
I mean, it's Christopher Lee.
Yeah, he's a legend.
It's got to be good. Love that guy.
Abigail says, I remember watching The Birds quite young, and I still avoid pigeons and seagulls when I'm out and about. Yeah, they steal your chips. They fuck us.
They are deadly. They are
genuinely terrified of any bird. I've never seen someone so scared. Now, a spider, she's fine, but if there's a seagull lurking about, that's it. Like,
well,
have my chips.
I gotta say, when I was a kid, okay, I'm 45, right? So when I was a kid, I don't remember seagulls being as aggressive as they are now.
No, because they've gone greedy, Jenks. There's more food on the streets.
You're right, yeah.
There's more people on the streets. There's more food. True. They've gotten greedy. They've gotten used to having this amount of food. Do you know, I went to France. I was on a cruise. Stopped off in France. And the port that we stopped off in, right? It was the smelliest port I've ever been to, right? And they had, do you know those steel container bins?
Yeah.
They had like 6 of those lined up with discarded crabs and shells and all shit. I shit you not, right? There was about 500 seagulls, swarms of them all over the place.
They're nasty.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Is there a horror film? I know there's a film called The Birds, obviously, and that's amazing. But is there a film called Seagulls? Because they're horrible. And they've got massive beaks.
There should be.
There isn't.
No one likes them. No one's going to watch a movie about seagulls.
What do you mean like them? You're not supposed to like them.
Jenks, people love the villains. That's why we're doing a horror channel, because we love the villains. I don't care about seagulls. Do you know what I mean? We love the bad guys. That's why we love horror films.
Well, not all bad guys. You can have some horrible ones.
Nah. I'm there for it.
I
spit on your grave. Love the villains. Love them.
The rapists. Yes, they're awesome. Right, my cup of tea. The Birds is awesome, I've got to say. Don, no PGs at all. Do you know, when I was growing up...
Nothing below.
So
what about PG-13, Don?
When I was growing up, I had a great video collection, and back then there was either PGs, like fun films, and 18s. There was almost no 15s back then. So Terminator 1 was an 18. The only 15 I had was Monster Squad.
Yeah, the Batman was 15.
Batman was strange because in the cinema it was a 12 and on video it was a 15.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
because I've noticed that Beetlejuice is a 12s now on Netflix. The original Beetlejuice.
Right, I'm gonna. So 1 second. So 1 second. What's your what do you say your favorite film? Is Cat's Eyes. What's your worst moment from some awesome films you love, if you could think of any?
Worst moments, like bad
for example,
moments,
so we were on Movie Squirm channel a few months ago, and he gave his question to us, and I thought it was good. I thought I'd steal it. So my favorite horror film of all time is Return of the Living Dead. I absolutely adore it, but I hate the skeleton that comes up. It's shit, right? It bugs me. And I tighten up when I show this film to people. I always think, ignore this. The rest is awesome. Have you got anything like that in mind?
That is a very good question.
Is there any bits of it you don't like?
I'd say probably the part at the end, whenever the troll.
Yeah.
You know, the troll and Drew Barrymore, like the scene where the troll's fighting the cat, and it sort of becomes more comedic. So I sort of wish I had kept the tension up, because whenever it gets comedic, all the tension is like immediately gone, and it's just okay, this is supposed to be funny now, I guess. It's like I wish they hadn't kept that like scary, serious, or something like
so
that.
it's a bit
But
like comedy, a bit too much on the nose. You want either to be all comedy or just not throwing it in the last second. Yeah.
Yeah, like it came out of nowhere. It's like it was a really dark scene, like where he was like stealing her breath, and he almost had it, and then he was like thrown into a jar, or thrown around, and he was on a record player. It was like, what the
I need to
fuck's
rewatch that
happening?
film. I haven't seen it for years, maybe like 20 years, I think.
I got a quick one, guys. A little recommendation. I haven't watched it myself yet, but I found a film today that I'll be watching tonight. If either of you two have seen it, or anyone in the comments have seen it, it's called The Killing Ground, or just Killing Ground. Came out in 2016. It's a movie that I found online earlier today, and apparently it's more relentless than Eden Lake. I think they're comparing it to that because it looks like a couple out in the woods. Apparently it's class.
Is it a British film?
Yes, I think so. It looks British. Has
know,
anyone seen it?
We still haven't. Do you know we still
Never
haven't
heard
watched
of it.
Hush, that film we recommended from
by Barry.
Barry from Wolfman.
So the synopsis says a remote campsite, an abandoned tent, a romantic getaway to die for. Very Eden Lake. And it's got decent ratings. So I'm going to check that out tonight, and apparently it's a good one.
What's it called again?
Killing Ground. I'm sure Jordan Moran has seen it. He's usually on top form.
He's probably got a tattoo of it already. Where are we now? Give me 1 second. So Jaden says the original Child's Play was my intro into the genre. Yeah, great one to start with.
Yeah, absolutely.
My 12 to 13-year-old sister showed me it when I was like 3. Oh God, 3 or 4, and it scared me for life.
Jen, you know, when I was young, my uncle had a Chucky doll, right? And he used to put it on the couch, and he'd be sitting behind the couch, and he would talk for Chucky. Oh my God, I never really recovered from that. Maybe that's why I like Child's Play so much, because I do get a little bit of fear out of Chucky.
I like your uncle.
Do you like Chucky Child's Play films, Maxwell?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, minus Scene of Chucky, which I pretend doesn't exist. The rest of them are
Which
great.
one, sorry, you don't like? Oh, the Seed
of Chucky.
Yeah. Awful film
with a kid.
Yeah, and the cult of Chucky is probably behind it. Behind it.
Both awful. I just rewatched them all. I bought Arrow Video's 4K box set, and Seed of Chucky is the only one I turned off.
It's rough.
I like the first one. I watched it maybe once or twice as a kid. Oddly enough, I rewatched Megan last night. It's on Netflix. I stuck it on for my wife. She really enjoyed it. It's a good.
It's an okay movie.
Again, it's a bit like Smile 2, where it has no business being so good. They take a very overused premise and just do it well. Sometimes that's all it takes. You don't have to do anything different. You know, Creepy Doll has been done like countless times, and they kind of nailed it. Right, a second. So you got Eli. I hope the new Night of the Living Dead movie does justice to the older ones. Is there a new one, or is it Return? Or are you thinking of Return of the Living Dead?
I think it's Return of the Living Dead, isn't it? They're doing like a sequel or a reboot or something. I think it's a
bit vague, and I've heard it's a sequel. I don't think they haven't even probably written it yet. It's probably all just trying to get money from studios, isn't it?
Jill John says, what I remember, what horrors I first started watching was the Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, werewolf films, and Christopher Lee Dracula. Love them old horrors. Definitely classics.
Yeah.
Classics.
Tyler, my kids have seen quite a few horror films, but when they watched Krampus, they shook them. Definitely. That one's a good... I think that one is in the same category as Gremlins, as quite a good gateway horror movie. You know, there's a lot of fun to be had, but I think Krampus is just a smidge scarier than Gremlins.
I put on... so Gremlins was my daughter's gateway horror, and I had to switch it off because it was too scary.
Toronto Freddy says, my experience meeting Carpenter sucked. He was a complete jerk. The only bad experience I've ever had meeting somebody. That's a bloody shame. Definitely.
You haven't met him.
That sucks.
Yeah, you have met him. You watched his show, didn't you?
I went to watch him live. He performed all his scores,
You a big fan of John Carpenter, Maxwell?
I am, I'm a fan of his work. I know him as a person, he's meant to be like really grumpy and like I don't give a shit attitude, but I know that much. But
that's a
definitely
shame.
Fan of his
They
work.
say you should never meet your idols, your heroes.
And
I think
yeah,
I think if I ever met like my hero is sort of Schwarzenegger, is the ultimate sort of celebrity I'd love to meet. And I would just be afraid he'd be a dick and he would ruin everything. So it's best not to meet them, I think.
Jordan says, seagulls are meaner for sure. I blame the internet noising everyone up. Most internet trolls are actually seagulls.
I'm telling you.
That's true.
Maxwell and
Jordan, I don't know where you get it from, pal.
Maxwell and I are going to team up and make a seagulls film, Curtis, and you'll have to eat your words, yeah?
Tyler says, dolphins are still more evil than seagulls. Do you know, apparently, seagulls are meaner than John Carpenter. That's what I've heard. Twisted Locker, I just turned 48 last Sunday, Jenks. We're almost over the hill.
Oh, happy birthday for last Sunday.
Awesome. Happy birthday.
48. I bet you everybody's telling you you're practically 50. I bet all people say. I've been practically 50 for the past 3 years.
We got a bit of dirt here on Jenks from Eli. Eli says, I think Jenks is over the hill.
It's funny it's funny, Curtis, because I think that you were born in the wrong decade. 2 decades too early. Too late, sorry.
No, because I can appreciate it as a whole. I don't have to wait for any films to come out. I can just go in.
Yeah, but you're envious. You missed out in the cinema.
No, I'm really not. I've got a 75-inch TV. I've got all the movies I need on disc. I am happy.
It's not the same.
John Moran says, my mum nearly assaulted an old man working at the cinema because he refused to let me in to see The Fugitive. It was the first 12 rating film in the UK and I think I was 10, 11. Oh, Mama Moran bringing the heat. The question is, pal, did you get in to see it?
I love The Fugitive. It was it was before 12's an hour, 12-ish. You can go with a parent. Back then it was just 12 and nothing. You couldn't come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man was the first 12A film.
Don Keat, what about Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho? The show was seen pretty shocking when you're young. I watched that one late in life, I think, when I was a kid. I didn't want to watch a black and white movie. So I watched it late, and obviously it didn't have that effect on me. I'd already seen some of the grimmest movies ever made. I think it's a masterpiece, but it's not one I revisit very often.
Yeah, I think for The Birds is probably the easiest to digest if you just want a straight up horror. Because Psycho has such an unconventional style. The first half is like a crime case. She's on the run. The second half is a horror. It's very, very risky, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Tyler Adams, I hate when little technical things ruin a film. Maybe a bad example since most people don't like The Hobbit, but I hate when they use shitty GoPro footage cut in the river escape. Definitely. There's a few moments in the Hobbit series where I shook my head. That scene when they're going down the river, and there's a scene where Legolas is bouncing on these podiums to go up somewhere. I can't remember. I only seen it once.
Yeah,
but the tracking on him jumping is awful.
And the physics is all out. I hated that film so much. The three of them.
Peter
Jackson, in all fairness, Peter Jackson came in the 25th hour, took over from Guillermo del Toro, and he didn't have any storyboards ready. He had nothing, so he didn't jump on. And he just, he took all the brunt, really. But buck stops with him.
I had neither, Eli, until today. So it's always nice to find a movie I haven't seen. Toronto Freddy, Hush is a Flanagan film, one of his first. So this one is a different Hush to that one. We actually got confused with that as well, didn't we, Jenks? When Barry mentioned it. There's apparently, there is a British horror movie called Hush, and it sounds great.
Have you seen Hush, the Flanagan one?
I haven't seen it. No, I've seen the poster. I know what it is, but I haven't actually seen it.
You can get it on Shudder
yet.
now. It's on Shudder.
So Curtis and I were big Mike Flanagan fans. So obviously he did House in the Haunting of Hill House, Doctor Sleep, and Hush was Hush
Midnight
was
Mass.
Midnight Mass. Hush was a strange one because it was made for Netflix pretty much, and then they got rid of it, and then there was nowhere to be seen, which is really frustrating.
Oh,
yeah.
Hate when they do it.
John Moran, face tattoo of Killing Ground. Actually, no, I don't think I've heard of that one.
No, I was on about a tattoo. He's probably got a tattoo of it.
Yeah.
He's already seen it.
Eli Cortez, I think Midnight Mass is Mike Flanagan's best work so far. I couldn't agree more.
It's a close one between with that and Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, it's
an absolute. I love Gerald's Game as well. I'm such a fan of that film.
It's amazing. John Moran, I remember years ago, Argos had a big Chucky-looking doll, but with a Parker and Liam Gallagher haircut. Terrifying.
No, you're on talking my language.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Donkey, Psycho, Norman Bates, Andy Perkins by Alfred Hitchcock. I love the Psycho films. I also loved watching the remix series, and I loved it. I don't think I've heard you mention Psycho. I love Bates Motel. I watched that from season 1. I thought it was great.
Classic.
Yeah. I started watching it, right? And I was enjoying it, but it started like adding stuff in that had very little to do with anything. Like the son was a drug dealer and there was drug gangs, and I'm like, they're just padding it out now. It's meant to be about Psycho. I'm surprised they didn't go off to Spain for a series, you know? Spain episode.
Gina says, been watching horror films since I was 3. It's never scared me, and my older brother tried to scare me a lot with them, and he never could. Real life stuff is scary in my eyes. Yeah, I agree. It's nice to jump into a movie and get a little scare now and again, but yeah, life is scary. Well, sometimes you see scarier shit with your actual eyes.
Well, I would say, right, if you're ever accidentally scrolling in Instagram, it's become like the Wild Wild West.
Oh, I won't touch
horrible stuff.
Yeah.
There's no like.
I won't.
There's no
it's pretty bad.
Legislation, just like horrible things like accidents and things.
Tyler Adams, that teaser for Return of the Living Dead cost them $50,000 to make, and I think it's not even part of the film. But I love that opening shot so much I recreated in Blender for $0. Yeah, I seen that on your Instagram, mate. You did an absolute cracking job. But yeah, what are you doing spending £50,000 on a teaser? I mean, Jenks, if I dressed you up like Tam and went to a graveyard, I reckon we could recreate that teaser.
Have you seen the teaser, Maxwell? Yeah, it looks good. It looks, a decent production. But I think these days...
They've done a good job recreating it.
I just think you can do a lot with a lot less these days. Especially these days, everything's a lot cheaper to produce. You can get like a skinny actor would put some... Because you don't even see... There's not detail in the zombie. It's pretty much... got the only reason you think is Tam Man is a skinny, he's in a graveyard and he's got bits hanging off him that's very similar to Tam Man, but you don't see his face, so I don't know where the money went.
Yeah, it's like a silhouette basically. You sort of assume
it's probably just a snow machine probably cost them a bomb, 50 grand to rent it for the day.
We've got Liana. Hi Liana, I've seen you in Davies chat. I think you're one of his mods. Thanks for jumping on. We haven't seen you in here before.
Hi, Liana.
I come in and I hear people trashing seagulls. Seagulls are the worst. Yes. I'm just going to change the thumbnail to this live to just a seagull. That's it.
Right. Is there a film called Zombie Seagulls? Because seagulls.
I mean, there's a film called Zombie Vuz, so it's not out of the question, is it?
Yeah.
Possible.
Toronto Freddy says, Psycho is the first time a toilet flush was ever featured on a movie. I know, when there was outrage. People people were disgusted by it. They were raising their fists like that angrily. Yeah, really? The first ever movie to show a toilet flushing.
Is that right? So
wow,
even
I actually didn't know that.
In the shower,
people were
with the bog flushing. That's
they almost cut it, then they released an unrated cut with a toilet flush in it.
Is that true about the toilet? Yeah,
it is true. Yes, it was the first movie. and people were disgusted because
Wow.
toilets are like a sacred place where people go to shit. You know what I mean? No one wants to see a toilet being flushed.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I don't care. Don't care about the lady being stabbed to death. I don't care about her being dead. But he flushed the toilet. Bastard.
What's his name? Gus Van Sant. Is frame for frame remake. What a misfire
with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, in all fairness, Vince Vaughn at the time was more of a serious actor. It only seems strange now in retrospect because he's in like Dodgeball and stuff. He's actually a really good actor. He's been in a few quite serious films recently.
John Moran, they never.
I like him. What was that horror movie?
Well, you carry on.
Oh, sorry, buddy. No, what was that horror movie he did recently?
Yeah.
Freaky. That's it. I thought he was pretty good in it. He done a good job of that. I thought.
Brawl in Cell Block 99. He is fantastic in that film.
It's good.
Oh my god, proper grindhouse movie. I love that film.
Freaky was brilliant. You got Catherine Newton again. She's a bit of a scream queen, isn't she?
Paranormal Activity 4 as well. I didn't know until I rewatched it a few weeks ago. I was like, oh, it's her.
So the bit in Freaky that tickled me is when he's in the car. So Vince Vaughn is now the possessed, got the teenage daughter, a girl in him, and he kisses the boy. It is so disgusting. Because he's so huge. He's about 6'6".
He's like 10 foot.
Got a forehead, he got a hairline up there, and he's kissing like a teenage boy. It's horrible.
So brilliant. Good. John Moran, he never found his body. My mum still walks free. And considered dangerous, like a short Scottish Ray Winston, but more aggressive and loud. She's a bit deaf. Did you just confess to a murder there, Jordan? Taylor Adams, Peter Jackson made those with no time, burning the candle at both ends, no more like throwing the candle into empty doom. Yeah, you got the short end of the stick there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Jordan, Christopher, are you guys fan of Hammer horror? Do you know what? I loved them growing up. I was really into the series. I loved Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, all those guys. Not to say that I've fallen out of love with Hammer, but when I got to an age where I was watching all the 80s slasher movies, I kind of never looked back, to be honest. Once I got into Evil Dead and all those films, that was it for me. And I'm still now, to this day, still discovering new movies from the 70s and 80s. So my time is pretty consumed with that era of movies, so I don't go back very often, but I loved them growing up. I'm a big Christopher Lee fan.
I'm the same. I've got a lot of respect for them. But I think if one was on that I liked, I think I probably would check it out. I always liked the ones with 3 segments. I used to love them. They used to get them absolutely spot on.
Britain at those times was a scary place, very grim, dark place. So these films are really creepy.
Yeah, I remember watching one. I don't even know if it was a official Hammer one, but it had that style and era. And it was about an antique shop, and everything you bought, you took home, and it had a curse and a story attached. A bit like the Friday the 13th TV show that was strange. But it was a Hammer one.
That's ringing a bell.
And they'd bought an antique mirror, and the guy had to keep killing people to feed this ghost in the mirror. And the guy was stuck in the mirror world. No, shit like that. It was so creepy as a kid. Because it was British, like I say, it was grimy and a little bit more realistic. Because you didn't have the bells and whistles of Hollywood.
50s and 60s Britain was a grim place.
Yeah, but I think with Britain, I think things can be creepier because we don't have budgets to have lots of monsters and things. Just character driven.
Toronto Freddy Flanagan is one of this era's masters of horror.
100%.
Absolutely agree with you, pal. I love this guy, and I've got so much faith in him. I think anything he does, I think he can do a great job with. I'm looking forward to his Exorcist. I wasn't looking forward to the last one. I still haven't seen it. Honestly, if this guy was directing a remake of The Thing, I'd have faith in it.
Maxwell, have you seen Gerald's? I didn't say Gerald Butler. Then. Gerald's Game.
Gerald.
It's on
don't think I
Netflix.
have. No.
It's made by Netflix. It's a Mike Flanagan one again, based on Stephen King's book about the girl stuck on the bed. She's chained to the bed. Have you heard of it even?
I've heard of it. I just haven't seen it, but I've definitely heard like my friends used to talk about.
So basically, it's a couple that's trying to rekindle their marriage, and they go to rekindle it in this house they had a honeymoon in years ago. The husband chains her to the bed to spruce things up a little bit, and he dies of a heart attack. So she's just stuck on the bed for the whole film, trying to figure out how to get off. Very, very clever.
Actually, I have seen it. I have actually seen the more you talked about, like bed, chains.
It's really
good. You know, I traumatized my girlfriend with that one. Do you know the scene? Yes, the hand, right? When she breaks free from the handcuff and she rips the skin through. Proper traumatized my girlfriend. That was one of the first horror movies I showed her very early on, and she wasn't that accustomed to horror films. And it's funny, right, because we were watching Gangs of London a few weeks ago, and there's a scene where they've got a woman tied up in their basement, and she's tied up with her hands, and she does the same thing, right? She slices her wrist so she can pull it through, degloving, and she went like that, not again. Traumatized the guy, not again.
Can I just say something quick? Maxwell has to leave by 9, okay? So it's 10:02 now, okay? Just,
that's fine. Yeah, no worries.
Start. That's fine for us. But we've been talking. Actually, we're coming up to 2 hours. God, this is much longer than normal. Anyway, have you seen Nosferatu, Maxwell? Or are you planning to see it?
I have like a long fucking list of horror movies I have to watch. There's loads of them. There's one I watched. What was it? A week ago. That's one I was long overdue to review it. I was supposed to review it like weeks ago, but not much happened with Christmas and shit. But Green Inferno. If you guys watched it.
Yeah, Green Inferno. I fucking hate it.
James hates that one.
He likes it.
Yeah.
That's where we differ.
We don't talk about Green Inferno. It'll set him off. Don't do it.
I'm such a fan of Hostel, and this to me was just good.
Jenks, tell everyone about the poo-in scene again. You love talking about that scene. Tell everyone about the poo-in scene.
Okay. So the poo-in scene does my head in because they just witness people getting eaten and they're worrying about someone taking a shit in a cage. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, the scene. I mean, like the whole scene, like where the guy suddenly starts masturbating. You're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Get on with it, like.
Relieve stress.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so many. It's comedy that's genuinely out of place, and it just for me takes any tension this movie had. Like if you watched like Cannibal Holocaust, which is a different beast, but compared to this, it's just I was expecting something like that when it came in this because I know it's like the spiritual successor to it, and it was like literally not even close to being as rough as that. Like not just because of the animal cruelty or any of that shit, but just the story in general. It's just it was too much comedy in it. There was too much stupid dialogue. The ending was crap. I didn't like it at all.
Worse than both of those movies is Cannibal Ferox, 10 times worse than Holocaust. I've not seen it. There's a scene where a guy is tied up by the cannibals and they chop his junk off. There's a fantastic scene, right, where they put one of the guys in this box, wooden crate, and the top of his head is exposed through the wooden crate, and they chop it off with a machete. It's such a great effect. If you like Cannibal Holocaust, I highly recommend Ferox. It came out around the same era. It's horrific.
Do you know I haven't
proper
seen
nasty film.
Cannibal Holocaust?
I'm not surprised, Jenks. It's not for you. Really? You wouldn't like it.
What is?
It's really rough. Is
it the one with the spike right through? All the way to the mouth.
Yeah. And it's the one everybody truly believed was real. The guy got taken to court. He had to prove that the actors were still alive. He hired, and this was the genius, right? Is that he hired real porn stars to be in the movie. Nobody's going to recognize their face, and they actually had sex in the movie. I think it's got to be one of the first times that ever happened, or the only time someone's actually had sex on film.
That's
other
crazy.
than, you know, but yeah, crazy. It's got a mad story.
Right, yeah. So I'll read a couple of comments, and then so you need to duck off before 9. Is that right, Maxwell?
I mean, since I was late, I
No, you
can
don't know.
stay.
No, that's fine.
No,
But if you need
it's
to go by
fine.
9,
Yeah, it's fine. So what's your next plan and your next video, Maxwell?
Well, it's the Green Inferno review, so I have to get to the forest. There's a forest next to me, so I need to get there and do some filming for it for the introduction. So once I do that, then I just film the review and I can get that up, and then afterwards, I don't know, maybe Return of the Living Dead 2. I don't know, but I have to check my
So you
book.
write all your ideas down,
But
and you just cherry pick it, is it? Whenever you feel like it.
pretty much, yeah, do the whole eeny, meeny, miny, mo thing,
Yeah, I think
see what
it's
happens.
pretty much the same. We kind of do well with trashier films, not trashy, but Return of the Living Dead level of trash. We did Trick or Treat recently, and it's probably one step too trashy.
yeah.
It
Oh
didn't
my
do
God,
well
that
at all.
video tanked. I was gutted.
I know we worked hard on that because I watched it because I didn't. It was never going to be a video. We did, and I watched it. I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch it, and I said, let's do it, Kurt. Might be fun, and it might do well. It did not do well.
No.
And it was a good video, isn't it? It was a shame.
Yeah. It's a good video.
Unfortunately, you get that like videos you think like you work really hard on. You think this is going to be quality, and they don't do well. Trust me, it happens. It happens. It's
you drop a
unfortunate.
video, it gets 4,000 views. You drop another video, it gets 100. There's no like. I think unless you reach like the heights where you've got 50,000 people who are always coming back to your videos, you can put out any video you want and you'll get the views. I think at the stage we're at, we can't just chuck out any old shit and people are just going to, follow us blindly like.
Yeah, because I think with Trick or Treat, I think it did suit our channel and it was a well-made video and it was funny and all the things we usually try to do, but the algorithm just didn't push it. And I think, I'm guessing the algorithm is a bit of a mystery, but you can kind of work out a few things. But what I found is you need a lot of subscribers. So maybe say 10%, if you're lucky, will jump on anything you do. Or maybe even less than that. So you have to have big numbers for that 10% to have any impact. And I think, because I think to myself, like I'm a big fan of The Critical Drinker. I watch him. I subscribe to him. I watch his live stuff. I used to cherry pick what I watched of his. If he was talking about a film I liked, I'd watch it. If he was talking about Star Wars, I wouldn't bother. Now I watch his Star Wars videos because I like him as a person now, and that takes a while, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you're there for the personality, not the topic.
And you got to learn that, and it takes a while, I think. Hopefully, we'll get there one day.
One day, just keep doing it. I just do it because I enjoy. You can put me in an empty room and I'll have a conversation with nobody about horror. I just thought I'd put a camera on while I'm doing it. So
what I thought we could, because we take a while to wrap things up. Should we? We'll wrap it up with you now. If you need to get off, do you want to pitch? Do you want to, Maxwell? Do you want to give another pitch to your channel?
Yeah, well, I have the channel I usually talk about horror movies. I would do like reviews about them or just topics in general about certain franchises. I do like skits, like introductions or like, on location, skits, that are based around whatever movie I'm talking about. So
that's
if you love horror, check it out.
To the woods to film your intros, that's proper commitment. That is.
Yeah.
Like when Curtis and I start, we should take a photo of us to put on our thumbnails. We've stopped that now because nobody cares about our faces. That was probably the most work outside the video we did of like
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine going in the woods. That's good commitment.
But I enjoy it though. It's all fun.
Right. It's been awesome having you, buddy. I know we had a few technical hiccups, but that's just the nature of the business. I think most people can forgive
The
us.
nature of the beast.
Nature of the beast. But yeah, good luck with the channel. I've got a link to your channel in the description already. So guys, if you love horror, check out Maxwell King's horror channel. It's really good. And yeah, I've been really appreciate you coming on.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because it's
thank you for having me.
Past our bedtime as well. So we'll leave you go and we'll just wrap things up here. Is that okay?
No worries. Thank you so much for having me, guys. You're both awesome. Great talking to you.
I'll drop you a message later. Okay, buddy?
Awesome. Can't wait. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Hang on. Oh, too much of me.
Too much.
Oh, that was good. Oh, he's a top man, I gotta say. So
yeah.
He needs to watch a few more films from recently, like Nosferatu. I had a picture here, Nosferatu. I thought we were gonna have a segment, but
I just did a skit with my daughter. I was gonna do a Paranormal Activity video on my own, so I've just rewatched all the films and I was going to review them all on my own. I filmed a skit with my daughter. I recreated my own scene from Paranormal Activity. Turned out pretty well. I'll probably drop it for our members soon because I quite like it. I'm not going to do the video on my own. I tried doing it today and I just don't enjoy doing it on my own. I tried filming the intro and then talking about the first movie and I just couldn't get into the groove. So I'm probably not going to do it. But if you guys want to see the little skit I did, I'd happily chuck it on now.
I haven't seen it. I want to see it. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to read a few of these now, if you don't mind. So Gina says there's a horror from 2010 with seagulls in it, Birdemic. I have heard of
there we are. There's one.
And I'm sure there's Birdemic too. Is it called Aftershock or something? Some probably bird pun. Toronto says, the Psycho remake is absolute shite. What a fucking abomination. I know what.
Hey, you got away with words, pal. I like it.
Shite. Tyler Adams says, Gina, that would be a fun watch along. Are we talking about? What are we talking about? Sorry. Are we talking about Birdemic? We need to do We need to do a watch along. I got to say, we've been talking about it. It's so much fun on Davies' channel, didn't we? Yeah,
we'll definitely do one soon.
And I agree. I think there's no point watching something like The Exorcist when it's just perfection. You want to watch something you can poke fun of. You don't mind talking through it.
Definitely. We've got Davy Deathray here. Thanks for jumping on, pal.
Just mentioned you. Yes, Davy's got an awesome channel. You got to check him out. He does a lot of live stuff. He gets amazing guests on.
Everyone in this chat knows who the hell Davy Deathray is.
Davy Deathray. He is a legend. He's a friend of the channel. And we had a lot of fun doing that watch along with him. We did Black Christmas.
I love that guy. He's awesome. And like we said last time, Jenks, I'll always take up an offer from Davy Deathray to do a video. Awesome guy. Thanks for jumping on, pal.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I think, it was great. And I hadn't seen Black Christmas before, so it was the first for me. And it was shit. Well,
and the last.
To be honest, it wasn't that shit. I've seen a lot worse.
I've seen worse, man. Of course. Tyler Adams said, my list is getting long. I finally watched Infested.
It's so good.
An absolute standout movie.
And I'm scared of spiders, and it was the scariest film I've ever seen.
It's fantastic. Trent Freddy, Mike Flanagan is very much like Wes Craven. He insists that his sets are a comfortable and positive atmosphere. Very humble guy. Definitely, he comes across as very humble. He seems like a regular guy. He wouldn't go amiss just being your next door neighbour, some guy that you say hello to in the morning. Seems like a regular guy. And I think that's his biggest selling point. I think he's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
And he makes great horror movies. I love that.
A regular guy with a beautiful wife.
Yes. Eli Cortez, Ferox is a crazy movie. It's pretty hardcore. It's definitely one of the more hardcore movies I've seen.
Yeah.
Brown Bunny.
How did I know Eli'd watched that?
Eli says, Jenks' thoughts on Trick or Treat.
Right, we were talking about Trick or Treat, the Rockstar one, the one with Sammy Kerr. With the spelling you've got there, you may be talking about the anthology one. I really enjoyed Trick or Treat, the 80s one, and I really enjoyed the other one, the one with Brian Cox.
It's great. Leanna, I don't know what you're referring to. Brown Bunny. I'm sure that's a movie. I haven't heard of it, but I'll because Tyler says Brown Bunny, that was a shocker, so I'm assuming it's a film. I will have to look that up. You look at there we are. Jenks' thoughts on Trick or Treat as well.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. It was shit in all the right places, but I did enjoy it. Sammy Kerr as a villain was incredible. Very memorable. And it was a very funny film, intentionally funny in parts. Many parts, quite cleverly funny as well.
Jaden says, subscribe to you guys and Maxwell. Thank you so much, pal. We appreciate it. If you can link your co-host channel in the comments, mate, we'll give you a sub back, and I'll definitely keep an eye out for your channel, pal. It sounds awesome. Before
I forget, we have membership. We have 2 tiers. We have 99 pence one and a 4.99 one. We've got plenty of content on both. We got lots now on the 4.99 when we first did it. We didn't have much, but we built it up slowly. We're going to keep adding. So if you want to be a member of the channel, get exclusive videos, check out. The link is in the description, and check it out.
Jill says, another fantastic horror podcast, guys. Look forward to next Sunday. We're still here, Jill.
2 hours.
All right, we'll go. We're going. Don't worry, we're going. It's been, I'm starving. Curtis definitely posted. I will, pal. It'll be a waste if I don't do the Paranormality video, because I think it's quite cool. It was good to just to film something and like just direct my daughter, just to do something. Well, just to warm me up a little bit.
You should stick it on the members, because it's not going to affect the channel, and you can just be experimental.
Yeah, of course. Davey Deffrey says, oh, you guys are so sweet. I love you guys too. My Welsh brothers from other mothers. Yes, Davey. I love it.
He's got an amazing channel. I got to say, he gets some amazing guests on, doesn't he?
Yeah, so good.
He's got some charm, I got to say.
Tyler says, I hate spiders. Infested had me and my wife and kids shrieking. Do you know, I have no problem with spiders, but I still loved it. It didn't creep me out in the way it did with you, Jenks, but...
It was the scariest film ever, and they nailed it, that type of spider, not too big. In fact, when they went big, it lost me a little bit.
Yeah. Great podcast, guys, as usual. Thanks, Ben, and thanks for jumping on again. Eli, this brings me to a question I needed to ask you. So, me and Jenks have had a few trolls in past lives. I know you offered a few weeks ago. We are looking for a mod, pal, so if you're up for it, we'll definitely take your offer to mod the channel. Yeah. And you can chuck all those links up for people that pop in, plug in their channel. But hit me up, Eli, on the comments or whatever you want to do. I don't really know how to set mods up, but if you could do that, pal, we'd appreciate it so much.
Yeah, we thought because there's 2 of us, we wouldn't need mods, but it turns out we're boneheads and we do need help.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Right, we've run out, Jenks. We're all caught up.
I really enjoyed that. It sucks when there's technical problems at the start. Because we like to talk to our guests for maybe 10 minutes before to get to know each other, but it's hard for the guest, particularly for the guest, to jump on like a rabbit in the headlights.
Midstream. Jenks, don't ever leave me on my own again. I'm telling you. Twice today now, right? Trying to film the Paranormal Activity video on my own, and then you leave me on my own. I've come to realise that I'm not cut out for this podcast game, and I feed off you, like.
Can you imagine?
I feed off you.
Can you imagine when I left? I didn't look. It looked like I walked out. I just was literally put this thing off. Can you imagine when I stuck it off? You were just like,
I almost was. Someone asked me.
You were fine.
What's your favourite moment? I was like, I don't know. What are you asking me that for?
Have we done all these? Have we read them all?
Oh, there we are. Yeah, we have read them all. Davey says, hit me up with a DM and I can help you guys get those set up. Legend, Davey. Thank you, pal. I'll definitely do that. Get ourselves some mods.
Oh, yeah, mods. Yeah, we didn't even know what a mod was until a few weeks ago.
No. Thank you, Eli, pal. We appreciate that. Yeah. You're an absolute legend.
We'd heard people talk about mods and we just thought it was like high, that only high end.
Curtis looked terrified being on his own. Piss off, will you? I weren't that bad. I'm allowed to say you, right?
Yeah.
I'm allowed to say I look terrified, right?
You can dish it out, but that's it.
Dawn says, thanks both. Have a lovely week ahead. Thank you, Dawn. Like always, and thanks for jumping on. Hiya, Katie. Cracking show, lads. Thank you so much, Katie. We appreciate it. Jaden says, I'll just say the channel and pod name since links won't work, but the Lost River Drive-In and pod's name is Pod Goblins. Appreciate the show, guys. I'll be there for next week's stream for sure.
Oh, yes. I have seen the Lost River Drive-In pop up.
Yes, I think I have as well.
Tyler Adams says, I'm looking forward to you guys doing a short film or two. We are definitely, it's our New Year's resolution. Curtis has just bought a new house, so he's a bit distracted, so I'm not bugging him with any of my script ideas. I'm leaving him move in. And then I think when I come up, I'm assuming I'm going to come up maybe when you've settled at least. And then we just, we'll start busting something out. I've written the script already. But we're going to work through it 100%. This is our New Year's resolution. We're going to fucking do it.
We're going to do a film. Definitely.
It's going to be, I can't guarantee it's going to be awesome, but we're going to do it.
And yeah, obviously Tyler did pop me up on Instagram and said that he's happy to help if we need some FX work or anything done. Brilliant. So yeah, we appreciate that, pal. Thank you.
Can you? Yeah. Just a couple of plugs, if we can. Like I said, we've got memberships in the description. If you like our channel, please subscribe. Also, tell anybody you think they might like it. I mean, I want them to like it. Having people sub and then no interest in our videos it's just vanity. Yeah, you want those subs to be responsive to our videos, and luckily most people are. I think we haven't done any. I say nobody watched our trick or treat video.
Thanks, Abigail.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh, we're wrapping up. This is the most people we've had in the live all night.
Oh well, 50. We don't have to wrap it up. You said you're hungry.
No, we have to wrap it up. No, I'm sure the majority of people will be sick of us by now, so we better wrap up. But yeah,
I would just want to say one thing. What's your next film you're going to watch before we go?
That the film I'm going to watch it tonight. No, Killing Ground. I'll be watching that tonight. 2016 movie directed by Damien Power.
So yeah,
I'll be.
Isn't it a bit late when you be falling asleep?
So 9 o'clock.
Be in bed
by half 10. Be in bed by half 10. I'll be fine.
Right, awesome, guys. I really enjoyed tonight. I gotta say, I love doing
Jenkins. Yaki da.
Yo, nice. Liana, awesome.
Liana, are you Welsh or?
I think she's just trying to be nice. Trying to be polite.
Yeah, well, thank you. We appreciate that. Our native tongue.
Yes, we don't speak Welsh. I don't think anybody in Wales speaks Welsh. It's like that Gavin and Stacey joke. Nobody in Barry speaks Welsh apart from one guy, something Powell.
Yeah.
Powell. Are we wrapping up, Kurt?
Yeah, let's wrap up.
Awesome. Right, really appreciate you guys, and we're not just saying it to be nice. We really do appreciate it. I love talking to you guys, and I love seeing the same names popping up, and new names getting added, and it's great. It's awesome.
It's awesome, guys. Honestly, we appreciate it so much. You literally sat there for 2 hours watching two boneheads speak for 2 hours. We appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for jumping on every week. Yeah. You're absolutely awesome.
Yeah. And check out Maxwell King's horror channel as well. Like I said, link is in the description. Really appreciate him jumping on our channel tonight. Right. Thanks, guys. And have a good weekend. Good week, sorry.
Cheers
awesome.
all.
Ta-da.